Hello, Gaurav, Siddharth.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, I think the Council General has joined. I think, can we start?
Definitely. So would the CG like to share his video and unmute his phone? So, Consul General, Excellency Mr. Mohit Yadav, welcome to the In Conversation session with the German Indian Business Forum today.
Well, good afternoon. Can you see me? Can you hear me?
Yes, very well, thank you.
Okay. Well, I'm using it for the first time, so I can't actually see myself. So, uh, anyways, it's good that we are on. We're on. So, let's proceed ahead.
So let's start today with the details of the events. Gaurav, will you be skipping through the slides, please? So about the today's event, just for all the participants who are there right now, the event will be recorded. You have the possibility to join the audio conference. The details are listed on this page. Going further, today we have the Consul General of India for South Germany, His Excellency Mr. Mohit Yadav with us. We have a very interesting topic today. We are going to talk about India's response to COVID-19 and how do we look at this as an opportunity in the future. Now, at the outset, let me use this opportunity to welcome the Consul General to Munich. And Consul General, at the outset, we would like to understand from you, what was your motivation for deciding to come to Germany as your destination of choice, and especially to Munich? What were your main considerations?
Well, good afternoon once again to everybody and to Mr. Mudgal as well. I would like to thank you for giving me this opportunity of the platform for the German India Business Forum. And I understand it has been instrumental in bringing together people and help them form relationships of trust. And Mr. Siddharth Mukherjee playing an active and leadership role in Munich, and in many ways is a flag bearer for those involved in societal issues. He is the perfect ambassador of Indian diaspora in Bayern. Now, coming to Munich, it has been an easy answer. In our system, we all follow decisions of the government. So we get an assignment instead of choosing one. And since I have come here, it's in January, I've tried to implement the policy laid out by the Prime Minister, the External Affairs Minister, our own government, and build relationships of trust with the Bavarian and the Baden-Württemberg government, as well as leadership of large German companies, investors, Mittelstand companies, and most importantly, I've tried to improve our services for Indian diaspora. Now, the agenda of our government places the poor and vulnerable as its core. So ease of living is an important as ease of doing business. And Munich has a high quality of life, and it will be our endeavor to share best practices from here with the leadership and the people back home so that we can improve quality of life of citizens. Thank you.
Mr. Yadav, now I've been following you on the social media as well, and I see that you're extremely active. The Consulate General of India under your leadership, it has driven lots of changes, and I see that you have been meeting lots of important policy bearers, policy makers from the academia, but also from the area of politics. Could you throw some light on this? What has your focus been in the last couple of months?
Well, in some ways, if you see the vision for the cooperation between India and Germany has been laid out during Chancellor Merkel's visit to India in November 2019. Now, our own India-Germany strategic partnership is based on common values and principles of democracy. It's about 2 decades old. And in this partnership, there is a focus on digital transformation through innovation, especially artificial intelligence. And we want to work together with Germany to make economic growth sustainable by cooperating on climate change. And there is also a need to create space for people-to-people contacts through legal mobility, especially skilled labor. Now, if you see the outreach, whether with the government or the academic institutions or with the business, this is broadly what is being driving us. And I look upon 40,000 Indian nationals who are residing in the two states that I look after as basically part of Team India. And I want to reach out to every single Indian citizen and the companies to try and work together as Team India so that we can see this COVID-19 as an opportunity and revive economies here, both in Germany as well as in India. Thanks.
Because you mentioned the challenges related to COVID. Now, I think India could see this challenge coming towards it because as the cases were rising in Europe, the number of cases in India were still on the lesser side. Now, what do you think was the strategy, or what did you perceive as the strategy of the Indian government, considering the fact that we in India had some kind of leeway in terms of seeing what's happening in Europe already?
Well, our government took early decisive action. Uh, since the discovery of the virus in November 2019 last year, our government was aware of it, and then in January, if you see, we evacuated our citizens from Wuhan along with citizens of other countries, and sometime in mid-March, from 25th of March, we tried to follow what is called social distancing by imposing exit restrictions uh, for about close to 2 months from 25th of March to end of May. During that period, we tried to prepare our citizens to face this pandemic. That time, when the exit restrictions were imposed or were started in India, we had only 500 infected cases. Now, the cases has risen since then. Uh, but the good thing is, even if the total number of cases today are at about 2.3 million, the actual active cases is about 680,000, and 72% of the people who have infected have recovered. So the recovery ratio is one of the highest anywhere across. So the number of cases are increasing. It's also partly to do with the large number of tests that we're doing. So testing today is at about 800,000 every day, and we are itching towards the 1 million mark, where we'll be conducting 1 million tests every day. So uh, after the Unlock 1, which was initiated in June, the effort of the government is to try and revive the economy, open up the economy, and containment of the pandemic has been more localized. So suppose if somebody gets infected, so then there is uh, the the family itself will be kind of quarantined, and there is active tracing. So that's one of the strategies by which, say, the state of Maharashtra or in Mumbai, in Dharavi as well, the pandemic was contained. So now the effort is all towards economic revival.
Then the next question which I would have is, where do you think can a country like Germany learn from India in dealing with a pandemic of this scale, considering there are two countries with big size differences?
Well, Germany has handled it quite well. It has a good ICU system, and even in Munich, the cases, if you see, are in hundreds. So from our side, the message is simple. India is the pharmacy of the world, and as and when the vaccine, an effective vaccine which will be accepted broadly, will come into being, for the world to be vaccinated, India's production facilities will be key. You can see the Serum Institute, for instance, has been one of the front runners in this. With the vaccine that it's trying to already investing in, it's invested large sums of its own money, and most of the vaccinations across the world, even in other diseases, have been actually produced in India. So, as and when a vaccine will be approved for administration across the world, India will be an important part of it. there'll be an India connection to every other vaccine which is administered across the world. So that is, I think, an important aspect for India's contribution to even Germany's handling of this COVID-19.
Thank you. Consul General, if we look and compare India and Germany, the lockdown which was enforced in India was, in my perception, much more stricter, rigorously handled than the lockdown which happened in Germany. I perceive living in Munich, the lockdown is something very, let's say, open, relaxed compared to how it was done in India. Where do you think this difference arises from?
Well, the reason is simple. We wanted to kind of send the message across to our population. You know, India is a very free country and people are extremely freedom loving. And it was important for the government to do 2-3 things. One, send a message across to citizens that they must try and adopt social distancing as a societal norm till the time we find a vaccine or a real cure for this pandemic. Second, it enabled our authorities, our government officials to get more aware of it and try and adopt strategies and prepare themselves for it, so that we can handle 1.3 billion people population and try and contain it. It also enabled time and gave time and space for our health system to develop capacity, whether it looked at PPE equipment or try and make available down today. At that point of time in February, we did not have any dedicated facility. So today we have almost 1 million dedicated beds for the COVID pandemic. At that point of time, there were hardly any labs dealing with this specific with this virus. But today we have, in fact, in July itself, the last week of July, Prime Minister inaugurated 3 high facility labs in Mumbai, Delhi, as well as Kolkata. So today we have a capacity of almost doing close to 1 million tests a day. So all this has been part of this stricter lockdown conditions in India. All this interim period has helped our system to cope up with it. And now, if you see, even travel restrictions are being lifted. So today, a person who wants to travel to India, if he has done a COVID-19 test, there is no quarantine for a person traveling back. And flights operations have also resumed. So today, Air India is flying 4 flights a week, and Lufthansa is starting with its flights today from Munich. So there has been a lot of opening up, and even opening up has been at a faster rate than maybe other countries.
Thank you, CG. Now, coming to the point of business, South Germany is the locomotive of business in Germany as such. So these are 2 states which you're handling. And one of the questions which we just got from one of our participants is India going to look at ramping up of the production of personal equipment, protection equipment, and also support other countries, including Germany? Specifically, we know that there's a shortage as such, and we are also facing strict quality issues from countries like China right now.
Well, the PPE has been really ramped up in India, as I just spoke about. So there is this scope of right now, a large part of the domestic manufacturing effort is towards that. So if there is, say, some specific need in other countries, we are open to it. In fact, when Chancellor Merkel and Prime Minister had spoken in April early this year, India was also already supplying essential medicines to close to 120 countries. And India was also supplying medicines to Germany, especially, medicines like paracetamol and others. So apart from the COVID-19 vaccine, whenever it comes, there is possibility of doing that. As our PPE production facility has significantly increased during the last few months.
Thank you, Consul General. Now, going further, where do you see that there are, where's the opportunity for startups in India in contributing to challenges like this? For example, there have been pool testing facilities which have been, let's say, created by IITs. Do you see opportunities of contribution of from Indian side for this crisis?
Well, startup scene in India is quite active, and lot more startups are uh, in the IT sector. If you see, that has been our basic strength. Uh, from the India-Germany perspective, I have a very simple message for companies. Whether if for German companies, the message is simple. If you want to go and invest in India, we are there for you. We can provide one single window clearance or one single window to try and reach out to, whether you look at state government authority or federal government or any regulatory body in India. We will facilitate you, and we'll try and ease your path through. Now, my office is on Wiedenmeyerstraße in Munich, and every day I see this ESER. I get this nice view of the ESER. Now, but till the time I go and either put my boat inside the ESER or try and swim in the ESER myself, I will never get the experience. So my message is simple. For any German company which wants to go, the time is now. And there are tremendous opportunities in India right now. Whether you look at the agricultural sector, or you look at reforms in the agricultural supply chain, or the health sector, which is growing at 22% every year, or the pharma sector, energy, infrastructure, which Germany already has competence, and larger companies like Siemens and others are already involved in it. Civil aviation, defense and space, finance, insurance. Some of the companies here in Munich are already invested in that space. You look at Ayushman Bharat. And for Indian startups, I and my colleague, the commercial representative, Mr. Ramakrishnan, we've done a close analysis of Indian investments here, and from larger companies to smaller companies, investment flow even during this COVID-19, it has continued from India. So, and if you're a startup in India and you're looking to come to Germany, invest in these two states, and maybe try and find a partner or work with German companies, that is, you have reach out to us. We are just a phone call away, or maybe just an email away. We'll be happy to support your initiative, and of course, we count on the forum of German India Business Forum as well, and your own leadership and support to try and support Indian companies as well as German companies.
Thank you, Consul General. So just to all our participants, there's an opportunity to ask questions to the Consul General of India. There's a question and answer panel, which you will see on the right-hand side. You can type in questions there, and we'll be considering them in due course of time. Now, Consul General, one of the topics of the German Indian Business Forum, or let's say the focus topic this year, will be smart logistics and mobility. Could you share some insights on this topic? What's going on in India? How can India learn from Germany, and the other way around?
Well, we've tried to discuss a lot on this issue. We are from our own side. Mobility is a very critical element, as well as logistics. Now, from whether you look at port management to try and ease or bring about changes in the railway sector, which connects or helps in faster movement of goods, or you look at micro mobility within cities. There has been wide range of areas we are trying to make an effort. So there are tremendous opportunities in that area. There is a major fair which is held here, but due to the COVID-19 situation, the Indian companies will not be able to participate in it. We've also reached out to Messe Stuttgart. So we are trying we are trying to try and encourage through the means as yours, through virtual means, to try and encourage connections, so that as and when situation opens, people are able to go and translate some of the agreements or some of the ideas into reality.
Now, we have a question from one of our participants. She asked if there are any cash support system right now for startups working in the area of prevention of transmission of COVID.
Startup from India or for a German startup?
Indian startups.
Right. Look, Indian startups are being dealt by Government of India, and there are various schemes and support programs for startups, Indian startups, run by Indian government. So I would suggest that you go and contact the relevant agency, whether you look at in terms of making it easier for startups in India, you look at tax reforms, or even the honoring the honest policy, which was started today, launched by Prime Minister today. So there are existing programs in government. So I would suggest you approach the relevant agency, and you should be able to get your answer.
Thank you. Coincidentally, we, as you already know, Consul General, also to all participants, we run the German-Indian Business Forum, and one important part of it is the German-Indian Startup Connector program. In fact, we had the first session there right now, and we had a great startup called Ather Energy coming in from India. So, Gaurav, if you could just skip to this slide, which shows our next event, we could just also announce it right now. It's the German-Indian Startup Connector. The first session has already happened. The next session is going to happen in, the investor panel is going to happen in September 2020. So the focus there will be smart logistics and mobility. Now, going back to the questions coming in from the public, from participants, some of the Indian technology companies, which are also active in Germany, by the way, are facing significant layoffs, especially when dealing with aerotech, aerospace industry, and the automotive customers in Germany, UK, and USA. Are these companies approaching you? What's happening in that regard? Because many of these companies are actually consulting companies as well.
Well, look, business has been, we've had discussions with several companies also in this sector. Business has been fairly difficult, and the message that we get is that it will take some time. Some sectors have shown some promise, recent promise, but the business compared to last year has been down. Almost the recent figures which came in, it's down 10% on year. Though there has been initial recovery. So I guess we have to we are all in this together, and we need to see how either we look at new business, or we try and have some patience till the time there is economic revival. Our own estimate that that people have told us will take about 1 or 2 years for us to reach at December 2019 levels.
Thank you. Now, do you think that the COVID crisis has actually kind of made it more transparent how the industry has transformation, be it in India or in Germany?
This pandemic has been one of the biggest drivers of digitalization. Now, for a long period of time, whether in the academic sector or the business sector, German companies were struggling with this question of how to digitize, whether to digitize or not, especially amidst the privacy concerns. Now, with this pandemic, suddenly the home office has become the norm, or in the university sector, the digital learning has become the norm again. So this, in a way, provides a tremendous opportunity for Indian companies as well, which have, whether you look at in the cloud space, or you look at trying to increase market access for companies through the digital route. This has been kind of one of the biggest opportunities just come out of this pandemic. So I think this is a trend which is going to continue, and this will be, I think, in a way, a game changer, which will increase the efficiency of companies, and for German companies themselves, it will help them scale up to try and digitize and reach a larger audience.
Thank you. Now, just out of inquisitiveness, the challenge came suddenly at a situation related to Home Office, etc. I've been just inquisitive and would like to know how the Consulate General of India and the staff dealt with this challenge suddenly.
Well, we immediately switched to Home Office as when the exit restrictions were there, and we were doing a lot more meetings on platforms like this. Initially, we were using another platform, but now WebEx has become the platform which is being widely accepted. So a lot we were trying to do. There was an initial backlog which for the passport services, for instance, which was building up, but we are trying now to remove that and eliminate it completely. And we also started what is called the Passport Seva project, or we've implemented that project here. So delivery of passport services will be much faster and easier because the day you submit the application, all the processes are, it is not known to you, but all the processes get initiated immediately. So whether you look at the police clearance certificate, or passport services, or other services, they are now being digitized. So in that sense, there's something good coming out of it. So services of the consulate will improve.
Great. Now, Consul General, we have also been noticing that you have been, as I said, active in social media, but also taking note of the comments, the feedback which is coming in from the people. Now, could you comment on the Indian Embassy and the Consulate General of India's unconventional role and regular briefings which you have been doing using the social media, how the Consulate and the Embassy have been making sure that Indian citizens stuck in Germany are being sent back using the Vande Bharat mission?
If you see the use of social media, that comes from the leadership. Our leadership is using social media to engage with citizens and to provide resolution answers. So we are following a path in that overall footstep. As regards Vande Bharat mission, it is being led by our embassy in Berlin. And throughout this, when the restrictions came in, a lot regularly Indian nationals were being briefed. If you see the entire pandemic, there's not been a single case of fatality affecting Indian nationals here in Germany, or in our region there was one case reported, and in that case also the Indian nationals affected got cured in 3 days' time. So thankfully there has been a zero case of any even a single Indian national going on a long-term need of medical requirement. Now, in the initial phase, there was a lot of talk about people wanting to go back, and we tried to make it as easier as possible while keeping in mind the restrictions that were there in India. But now, as you see, it's quite open. So today we have 4 Air India flights every week. Even the quarantine restrictions have been quite liberalized. So you can travel back to your place of city or wherever you are, or even other flights with the air bubble agreement in place with Germany. Lufthansa flights have also opened up. So today it is quite easy to even travel back to India.
Great. Now, we have one more question coming up, which is a very specific question, and your viewpoint would be appreciated. Now, many Indians have moved from India to Germany on a so-called job seekers visa. So they have come here, they're searching for jobs. Due to the crisis and the lockdown, the market has been, they have not been able to find any jobs in that period of time. Now, do you personally look at the job market as opening up now again, or do you still see a stagnation there?
Well, there is, situation is improving. It's not the same as in in the earlier months where there were stronger exit restrictions. It's not good to speculate, but there is talk in Germany about this second wave. Now, if there is a second wave, it might affect economic activity. However, we are quite hopeful that there would be a cure or a vaccine found for this soon, and there will be some protocols developed to handle cases of people who are coming back. So, if the situation remains quite under control, then we expect the economic activity to pick up, and there would be perhaps good news on the horizon. On a separate note, Indian in distress, facing real economic hardship, can of course apply to the consulate under the Indian Community Welfare Fund, and we'll be happy to help him or her. Thank you.
Excellent. Thank you for sharing this important information. How do you look at the market of biodegradable waste disposal in Germany and in India? It's a very specific question.
In India, Prime Minister, when he talked about emphasis on making a cleaner India and trying to rid itself of plastic. So there is a tremendous focus on sustainable development in India, and there is a big market for these products. And if you are a company which is in this sector, or whether in this sector or in the sector of trying to curb, air pollution, which is a major problem in India, where crop residue is burnt and it creates a problem of air pollution. If you have solutions for that, then there is a tremendous market for it. So I would encourage you to go and explore the Indian market. And like I said, instead of sitting and watching the water through around flow along the Isar, you take a dip in it and you swim in it.
Thank you. And just for the person who asked the question, Mr. N. Ramakrishnan from the Consulate General of India takes care of economic affairs. And in case of any questions regarding business investment into India, I'm sure he'll be very glad to help you with that. Now, the next question is Atmanirbhar Bharat, or self-sufficient India. This is one of the biggest programs and projects which is being run by the government of India, by Prime Minister Modi. Where do you see opportunities for more collaboration coming out of this particular project between Germany and India?
Atmanirbhar Bharat is a program coming out of the lessons from the COVID-19. The world was connected to or had become a global village. But now there is this concern or thinking about the governments that we must also develop our domestic capacity, so that, especially the health sector, so that you are not faced with a situation where you are dependent on the others. So part of it is, but it does not mean that you are not going to be dealing or having opportunities with other countries. Now, Germany is a very important player. It is the largest trading partner for India in the European Union, especially after Brexit. The bilateral trade is close to 40 billion dollars. When you combine both trade in goods along with the trade in services. So German competence in engineering, manufacturing remains, and we look at whether joint ventures or we encourage German companies in the areas of expertise that they have to go and invest in India, to go and work in India. There are tremendous opportunities for you, and there is a red carpet today which is there. Whether you look at as there is a process of continuous reforms and there is substantial improvement in ease of doing business. So you can work with Indian companies, and it's easier to go and work with Indian partners. So there are a large number of sectors where German companies have already invested, whether you look at the state of Maharashtra, or you look at the state of Tamil Nadu, or even Karnataka. So there are various regions where there are existing relationships. So you can build on that and then see how we can integrate our economies together and look at creating more jobs and prosperity for our citizens.
Thank you, Consul General. Now, I'll be taking the last couple of questions. And the new educational policy, the NEP, has been announced recently by Prime Minister Modi. he definitely said that he's not looking at creating job seekers, but job creators. Now, this is a very positive step towards enabling young workforce for the job market and for as job creators and not only job seekers. What's your opinion on this?
Well, I've gone through this national education policy. As Prime Minister said, it's come up about several years of consultation. One good thing which you see is a lot more focus on vocational training and imparting relevant skills to people, giving them options. So our effort uh, from the part of the consulate here has been trying to uh, encourage greater relationships. Vocational education and skills training is a very important part of the education system here. And our endeavor is to whether to link 21 Bavarian universities with Indian regulatory bodies, or even trying to reach out to larger universities like the University of Stuttgart. We have recently, just yesterday, we met people at KIT. Our effort is to try and encourage educational links between German universities and Indian ones, so that a lot more of some of the practices that which have been well developed in Germany can also um, be incorporated. And Indian students have also been kind of providing uh, support or contributing tremendously to the academic exchanges or the academic environment here. There are about 3,500 Indian students in Bavaria, and similar number is in Baden-Württemberg. So we see that this new education policy provides a greater framework for international cooperation between Indian and German universities.
Consul General, considering the fact that there are, let's say, about 7,000 to 8,000 Indian students in both the states, in Bavaria and Baden-Württemberg, how can we capitalize this large diaspora or student diaspora, as you just mentioned right now? What could be some ideas in that direction?
Well, we welcome ideas or areas of support. Every person here comes. Yesterday also we interacted with some Indian students. Everyone comes with a definite competence, and there are mostly some of the students that we interacted with were working with the Institute of Nanotechnology. They have tremendous skills and tremendous expertise through which they can contribute to India's development, and also connect businesses with India and German businesses. So whichever area of expertise that you have, or whatever ideas that you have, please write to us and see how you can contribute to our own development effort. And we'll be happy to support you and your ideas.
Thank you. Considering this, just to mention a question which came in, and I think you answered it aptly right now. How to approach German universities and research institutions for innovative startups from India. So I think the Consulate General would be very happy here to give one or the other advice. I recommend the participant to approach the Consulate of India, because the Consul General has been working as door opener with lots of research institutes in the last couple of weeks as well. Now, the last two questions. Consul General, what are your two main goals in your tenure when you're still in Munich, let's say the next 2 years, 3 years?
Well, my simple goal is to try and increase the trade and investment relationship. And second, to try and use or work with Indian diaspora here to further our national development and increase the linkages in whichever area that they have to harness the capability of Indian diaspora as part of Team India, and to promote India-Germany connections in whichever area that you have in the consulate.
Now, these are professional goals. What are personal goals for you in these, let's say, in the next couple of years? What are things which you're looking forward for in the next couple of years, being in Europe?
On a personal front, I have a family here. I have two kids, so they will be completing their school here, and perhaps be looking for to study here or going back here. It's a great place to stay, and it provides a good quality of life. So I would want to make lots of friends here. I've found are very warm people. Once they develop relationships with you, it's very easy to integrate into the society. So my message again, as my personal, is to all Indian nationals here, Indian diaspora here, to try and integrate yourself. And we have Mr. Mudgal, who is leading by example here. He is quite well integrated into the society, and perhaps you would have some more tips than me in this area.
Thank you, Consul General. Now, considering that we are almost at the end of this session, is there any other key message which you would like to give to the audience today?
Well, our simple message again is that we are like one big family here, whether you are a German businessman or you are a member of Indian diaspora or a company in India which is trying to expand its business in Germany, or you are an Indian investor in Germany. We are there to you. We are there for you. Our doors are always open, and instead of trying to make things difficult for you, we'll try and make or untangle the bureaucracy as we speak, and make it easier for you to do things. If there are issues that you find, there are problems that you find, whether with rules and regulations back home or here, please do not hesitate. Consider yourself, consider us as part of your ally, and never hesitate to contact us.
Thank you, Consul General. Let's end this session at this positive note from the Consul General of India. I would just like to say thank you to all of you on behalf of the German Indian Business Forum. These are some of the people who are active behind the German Indian Business Forum. As you see, there are people from different organizations, from the Consulate General of India, from Invest in Bavaria, the government of Bavaria, and also from the city of Munich. So thank you very much on behalf of the German Indian Business Forum. Let me also remind once again that in September 2020, we'll be having the next session on our online event, which will be the investor panel for the German Indian Startup Connector. The event is being done with support of the Consulate General of India. There are also other organizations such as NASCOM, Werk 1, and German Accelerator who will be participating as partners in this event. So this would be one of the next events which is coming up. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for participating in this event. Consul General, thank you once again for taking time for this event, and we hope to stay in touch with you and organize such regular sessions with you once again.
Well, thank you again for this platform. And I see there are quite a large number of participants in this. Finally, I'm able to see myself.
Thank you. Sorry,
thank you for the patience in listening to me. And thank you again, Germany India Business Forum, for giving me this platform.
Thank you. Auf Wiedersehen.
Auf Wiedersehen.